Hey baby, hey sugar, how you mama now? It's your girl Kiwi. Welcome back to another video. So today, y'all, it's a little special to me because this is the very first request that I've gotten on my channel for a video. So thank you so much for the request. I appreciate it, love. One of my subscribers requested that I show you guys my black owned collection. Look here, we all about black love over here. And I am dipped, dripped, and saturated in melanin. So I'm very proud of the color of my skin. So I promote hard on this channel black owned businesses in general, regardless of what your product is. I might not be able to buy a whole lot every time whenever I want to, but when I can, I definitely will support. So thank you so much for the request, and I am happy to show you guys my black owned eyeshadow palette collection. Now, I have a few palettes, to say the least. I have quite a few. So this video will be a little lengthy, I'm pretty sure, because I'm literally going to try to go through every single eyeshadow palette that I own that is from a black owned brand, as well as just showing you the color story. Not doing any swatches because baby, I'll never finish this video if that was the case, but I did want to show you guys, just in case you might want to, you know, check out some of these brands. Some brands you may or may not have heard of, some palettes you may or may not have seen, some you want to see, you know, as far as video goes, get my opinion, whatever, what have you. I am happy to do it for you. So, just be mindful. I'm a collector when it comes to makeup. Like, I know I'll never use all the makeup that I have, even if I was to wear makeup every day for the remainder of my days. Lord willing, it's quite a few. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and then I'm just gonna, I have them separated. Like, I have things organized. I know where everything is as far as my makeup goes. So I'm gonna show you guys brand by brand all the eyeshadow palettes that I have from it. I'm not going to go into, you know, any other products that I have from the brand, like lippies or liners or anything else, because like I said, this is already going to be long enough. But if you want to see anything else from any black owned, like if you want to see the entire brand or my entire collection from a single brand in the video, whatever, let me know and I'll be happy to do that for you guys. So just drop that request down in the comments below and I will oblige. So let's go ahead and get started. I will show you all my collection. So the first palette I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off with is from a brand that I just found not too long ago in Walmart. Actually, I was over in the cosmetics section. I saw this eyeshadow palette on the shelf and I was like, ooh. Now, for those of you who don't know or that are new to my channel, first off, welcome girl. Hey, how you doing? Second, I'm the neutral palette queen, self-proclaimed, okay? All palettes that are neutral, nude tones, you know, the earthy browns, greens, the pinky mauves. Like, I am drawn to those palettes. It's just, I collect. That's what I collect, you know? People collect comic books. People collect stamps. People collect whatever. I collect makeup, okay? So anyway, this is the Luna Magic palette, and this is from the Afro-Latina sister duo, and I'm gonna try it, Sheree and Mabel Frias. Don't really know if I said that right. I apologize if I said it wrong, but this is the back side of their palette. So these are the gorgeous founders. So this is what the palette looks like on the inside. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, and I love that pop of purple, but this is giving me, you know, like my nude neutral. Yeah, so that is the Luna Magic Desnunda palette. So check that out in your local Walmart. Next brand up is one of my all-time favorite brands, and that is Beauty Bakerie. I live for Beauty Bakerie. Their Aqua Foundation, oh, chef's kiss. That's one of my favorites. But anywho, let's talk about the palettes. Let's stay on topic. Y'all, I'll be all over the place. Anyway, first palette I want to show you guys from the collection. This palette was only in Target, if I'm not mistaken. This was a Target exclusive. But this is the Get That Dough eyeshadow palette. Again, a nude neutral palette that I was absolutely in love with. Next is the Breakfast in Bed palette. Looks like that. Then the Proof is in the Pudding. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, a nude neutral palette. Her first palette I think she released, or one of the first anyway. Then she revamped it. This is Do It For The Gram. And then finally, as far as her eyeshadow palettes go, this one is a new release. And I actually got this one in my BoxyCharm for April, I believe it was. Maybe March or April. It came in one of those. But this is the How Are You Doing? So, how are you doing? So, how are you doing? Get it? Love it. Super cute. But this is what she looks like. And this palette actually has a mirror on it. But yes, gorgeous palette. And I cannot wait to dip into this one. Next up is yet another favorite brand of mine. I don't even have to tell y'all it's my favorite brand. I really love Black-owned brands. But anyway, next up is Colored Raine. Love Miss Raine. She comes out with some dynamic eyeshadow palettes. The pigment is there. The color stories are amazing. The quality, chef's kiss. First up is the Beauty Rust palette. These are no longer available if I am not mistaken, but that is the color story there. Very cute. That's what she looks like. Lovelies. Beautiful blue, gray, red in here. Really, really cute palette. Have one of the little small palettes that she released. This is called Mimosa Moment. Really good for traveling. One of my favorite palettes from her, the Queen of Hearts. She looks like that. I also have the Smoke Show. One of my favorites of the 6 pan palettes that she released. The duo that she released at the same time. This is the Rose Garden. Really pretty color story there. And this is Botanical. A palette that is no longer available is the Power palette. I did pick this one up when it was on clearance, when she was getting rid of it. And it's really, really beautiful. Yet again, another one of my favorites from her. It's the Rebellious Nude palette. Oh, girl. She's so cute. Like, and it does have a mirror, but absolutely winning. Beautiful palette. I've used this palette several times. And then finally from her, one of her newest releases. I think this is the latest of her palette releases, is the Chic collection. And of course, my favorite one from the collection, the Neutral Chic. Another beauty is the Sunset Chic. Pretty Chic, the nice pink, red, pop of like a blue violet shade there. Really pretty. And then I have featured this one on my channel before. It is the Wealthy Chic, and that's the green themed palette. Gorgeous. So next up is from the brand September Rose Cosmetics. I only have one of their palettes, but it is the Brew palette. Of course, it is the nude neutral palette. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I was so sad to see that this brand was actually closing its doors. So this is makeup for melanin girls. This brand is no longer, I don't think they're up and running anymore. This was only online, but this is the Power palette. Beautiful packaging for one, but an extremely beautiful color story. And when I tell y'all the pigment is to die for in that palette, that was like one of my very first videos. So I have featured that palette on my channel if you want to check it out. Next brand I want to show you guys is Crayon Case. Of course, we all know how super common. Love it. So I picked up the box of crayons. This was the very first palette that I got from her collection. And I mean, it's every color under the sun. Rainbow. You got your nudes, you got your pops of colors. Like, it's called the box of crayons for a reason. Then, of course, I did pick up quite a few of her notebook palettes, and I picked up the pink edition, the red edition, the purple, the orange, my favorite, and the yellow. Next is Uoma Beauty. I only have 2 of her eyeshadow palettes, but freaking love them. I have the Black Magic palette, and she looks like that. And then I also have the Black Magic Carnival palette, and this is what she looks like. If you guys haven't heard, you need to go and check her out. It's Beauty Marks and Company. I have the Serwaa palette, and that is what she looks like on the inside. Serwaa? I mess it up every time. I'm so sorry. But it's a beautiful palette, and I have featured this one on my channel as well. From OPV Beauty, I don't know if you guys knew that this was Black owned. It's co-Black owned, so I figured why not. But this is the Spotlight palette, and that is what she looks like. It gives Born to Run, what is it, from Urban Decay. It gives that vibe. If you all have that palette or wanted that palette, but I think this one is a little bit cheaper. Not really 100% sure. I can't remember. I've had it for so long. So this is a newer brand that I saw on my Instagram feed one day, and I was just like, you know what? Why not? I have not used these, so I can't really speak on the quality, but it's a Black owned line, and her looks are beautiful. She has so many videos. The owner, Vertell, I'm not sure, but the brand is Verness by Vertell. So this is the Verness palette. Beautiful packaging, and that nice golden chrome, whatever you want to call it. But that is what she looks like. A gorgeous color story, very different. It's not a nude neutral palette, can you believe it? But yeah, really pretty color story. So I definitely look forward to digging into that one. And then also from her line, she has a palette called the Duchess palette. You guessed it, a nude neutral palette from her line as well. Gorgeous. From Cocoshanell Faces, again, another brand that I found on Instagram. She has the Bare Beauty palette, and this is what the packaging looks like on that one. And of course, it's a nude neutral palette, but she's gorgeous. Next up is OMAS Beauty, or OMAS Cosmetics. I'm sorry, OMAS Cosmetics. This is the Omalika, that palette. I've done this one on my channel as well, if I am not mistaken, during my Black History Month Black on Makeup Brands series. So check that out. I do have the playlist of all of those. So all of those eyeshadow palettes that I will talk about in this video have been featured. So it's on the playlist. So check that one out. But I've used this one for sure and love this palette. Such good quality. Next brand that I want to talk to you guys about is Klarity Kosmetics. Saw this one on Instagram. Was too late to catch the Melanin palette, I believe it was, which was a beautiful neutral palette. But I was happy to finally get my hands on a re-release of the I Love Coffee palette. Beautiful nude palette. She looks like a coffee menu with a little mirror there. Super cute. Very happy to get that. Her eyeshadow shades are amazing. Okay, so much pigment, so creamy, just so good. So you have to check out Klarity Kosmetics if you have not already. Also from her line, I have the Cobra palette. It's a green blue based color story here. I also have the Magic Lamp palette. That's what the outside looks like. And this one comes with a brush, but so pretty. One of her more popular palettes, the Bloom palette. Stunning palette. I also have a Mauve Wedding. And I believe this one is currently sold out at the moment. And I also picked up some individual pans. And I picked up these 4 shades. I picked up the shade, what is this? Are You Peaching Me? Georgia Peach, Peach Cobbler, and Tasty. So I named this palette Miss Peaches. Nude, neutral little run, made my own. And then I call this palette Internet Dating. This has the shades Playboy, Pandora's Box, Between the Sheets, and Date Night in it. And that is what she looks like. Next brand is the mother of our mothers, Auntie Pat, Mother Pat, whatever you want to call her, Pat McGrath. I have 4 of her palettes. I have the Mothership, what is this? The Utopian Dream palette. And that is what she looks like. If you know about the quality of Pat McGrath, you already know. She comes correct. Like her eyeshadows are so different. So different to me. They're the texture, the formula. I'm not sure what she does in the lab, but it's dynamic, okay? Divine Rose palette. Gorgeous mauve pinky tone nude neutral palette. What is this? Mothership 6, I think it is. And then Mothership 5. 5 is definitely my favorite. The next brand, which I did feature also in my Black History Month series, is Ace Beauty. Did not know that it was Black owned until last year, so I was happy to find that out, and I have quite a few palettes from her. So, starting off, I have the Paradise Fallen palette. I have the Classical Paradise. More along the lines of a nude neutral. Blossom Passion. Pinky Red. Have the Grandiose palette. It's one of her smaller 8-pan palettes, but a beautiful color story there as well. This is the Floral Vintage palette. And that is what she looks like, giving nude neutral goodness. This is the Flare palette. Gorgeous color story. The Nostalgia palette, I've used this one a few times. Absolutely love the color story here. Very different from me, but very easy to work with. And possibly one of my favorites from her is the Falling For You. Very simple. And then finally from Ace Beauty, but of course not least, is the Vintage Dawn. And I've used this one many times. Next brand that I want to share with you guys is from the Candy Lady, and it is the Assorted Candy Eye Candy palette. I mean, every color under the sun, Black owned goodness. So I have featured this one as well on my channel. This is from Bolive Beauty. This is the Nude Persuasion palette, and I'm gonna say it's one of my top 5 of all the palettes that I own. This is definitely in my top 5. Absolutely love this palette. This is from Beats by Debs. Listen to me. If y'all have not checked this palette out, it's in the buff. First off, beautiful packaging, has that nice shimmer to it. But y'all, it is a dynamic nude neutral palette. Next up, I want to share with you all PIMBY. I have featured a couple times on my channel, but this is Playing in Makeup by Yolando, and she is on her game. I don't know if you've ever seen her Instagram page, but she's the one where you can swatch the one time and go all the way down the length of your arm, and it's pigment. Honey, I don't know what she does in the lab either, but the pigment in her palettes, untouched. She is like, it's literally like, it's mind-blowing how good her palettes are. So be sure to check her out. And her palette, she's always having a sale, and they're not very expensive to start. So you better check it out, because a lot of times she has a lot of palettes that have come and gone. So once they're gone, they're gone. So if you miss out on those, I'm sorry for ya. But I would definitely go and check her out and see what she has available at this time and get what you can get, okay? I picked up a few of her 5-pan palettes. This one is her Faith palette. This is Exchange, Friends, Yo-Yo, and Awesome. And yes, it is. Also from PIMBY, I have the Earthly Desires, and of course, a nude neutral palette. probably one of my favorite palettes from her brand. I have the Church Girl palette. Absolutely gorgeous. I think this may be the biggest palette that I have from her. This is the Relentless eyeshadow palette. And it comes with a huge mirror, huge palette. This is all matte with the exception of these 3 metallics on the side. But this is a very colorful palette. So endless looks can come from this one. This is the Jamrock No Limitations palette. Again, this one also has a mirror and she looks like this. This is the Serenity palette, and she looks like this. This is the Browns and Nudes by Yolanda, and that is what she looks like. Gorgeous! Then from the first formula collection, I picked up the Nude Nucleus, and that is what she looks like. And then she recently released the Formula 2 collection. So the Formula 2 is a bit bigger than the first formula collection. So I picked up 3 of those, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 6, maybe 8 from that collection. But I picked up the Petri Dish Purple. Looks like that. The Particle Peaches. She looks like that. This one is Beaker Browns. Of course, I had to do the browns. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Next brand that I have is from Mented Cosmetics. This was the only eyeshadow palette that I've picked up from them so far. Next up is Fenty Beauty. Of course, I do have a few of those as well. I have the Snap. What is it? The Mix Match Snap, whatever it is. I don't remember the name. But I have 3 and I picked up 7. That is what 7 looks like. More like a camo type deal. And on the other side, that is 3, my Nude Neutral. And then more recently, I picked up the Bomb Posse palette. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, you can snap the other 2 on the bottom half. And that is what the Bomb Posse palette looks like. Nude Neutral yet again. And guys, finally, we have made it to my largest collection of Black-owned eyeshadow palettes. Juvia's Place. So I'm going to show you guys my collection with the exception of the 2 Sahara and Blush palettes. Everything else is eyeshadow, of course, but I'm still going to show you guys those because I know a lot of people still use the Sahara palettes as eyeshadow and blush. I know I have. I've used them interchangeably. So let me show you guys the 40 eyeshadow palettes that I have from Juvia's Place. So I have the eyeshadows stored in the little tiny crates and then placed on a shelf. So I'm not going to go into like any release order or anything like that. I'm literally just going to pull them out the crate and show you guys. So the first one I pulled up is the La Mariposa, the Yummy Angelina, Yummy Angelina and Juvia's Place collab. And that is this gorgeous, cute little 6-pan palette. And this is the Vanessa and the Juvia's Place collab. And this is probably my favorite collab that they've done because, I mean, look at the color story. It's giving Nude Neutral with a pop of pink. Like, it's just, this was a beautiful, beautifully created palette. Next up, I did pick up the duo, the Nubian Glow and the Nubian Royal. The Nubian Glow looks like that. And the Nubian Royal, very much purple. Then probably my second favorite collection that was released, it was the Bronze Rustic collection. And, oh, to die for. Then, of course, she followed that one with the Blushed Rose collection. And this collection, too, was gorgeous. I have the quad from the Melissa collab. So this is the Melissa X Juvia's Place. And that is such a cute quad. Very much every day. You can make this, you know, a good nighttime, date night, cute little run. Really nice 4 colors that she put together with Juvia's Place. Next up is the Colors collection. I guess that's what it's called. I'm not really sure. Don't really see it. But the taupes, the mauves, the sweet pinks, the violets, the nudes, the berries, and the chocolates. So I'll show you what all of these look like. There is the taupes, very cool toned neutral palette. The mauves, very much mauve, like the names are spot on. The sweet pinks, beautiful. The violets, the nudes, the berries, super cute. And then of course, it's probably my favorite from the colors collection. It's the chocolates. Then the OG of OGs, this is the Nubian palette, the very first Juvia's Place palette that I have ever purchased. Then she gave us a treat with the Nubian 3 Coral palette. Loved this color story when it was released. The newest release to Juvia's Place palette collection, whatever you want to call it, is the Nubian Earth. This is actually the palette that I used today to create this look. If you want to see how I did it, not that it's just, you know, innovative or anything like that, but I just really wanted to see how the colors performed and how they looked. I did come to the realization that there are two toppers in here, and that is the multicolor shade here in pan, and then is this like metallic chocolate olive green, whatever you want to call it, shimmer. These two show up more so as toppers, so if you're going to look for opaque pigment there, not really gonna find it, but as toppers, gorgeous. Following the Nubian Earth is the Masquerade Mini palette, and that is what she looks like. The Magic Mini, gorgeous color story here with the navy blue, love. And then I have the Nubian 2 palette. Loved this palette when it was first released. So next up is the Olori collection. I have 1, 2, and 3. Olori 1 palette. That's what she looks like. Olori 2, definitely just straight up blue themed, but so gorgeous. Of the 3, my favorite, because why? It's neutral. This is the Olori 3. Then from the Rebel collection, I only picked up the 2 because I wasn't really feeling the gray or the mint, but I definitely picked up the honey one and the army one. And I have done a video on the honey one, and she looks like that. Super easy palette to work from. And then here is what the army palette looks like. Green base, of course. Now I might be getting into some that may have been forgotten, because these are, if I'm not mistaken, some of these are no longer available. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I haven't really like scavenged through the website to see. I was just looking at the new collection. I placed my order and I got off, because if I don't, like, I'm gonna be adding stuff to my basket that I don't need, because I only wanted the collection. So I only looked at the Nubian Earth collection, picked that up, and I got out of there. So I don't know if some of these oldies are still available or not, but feel free to go and check out juviasplace.com and look and see if they're available for you. But here is the Nomad palette. Love this palette. Here is the Tribe palette. Gorgeousness. This palette is one where I think it's a lot of people that regret not grabbing it. And I'm so glad I'm not in that number. I'm sorry, no shade, no tea. But baby, this palette right here, I absolutely love it. And it's so simple. I know some folks are like, girl, bye. But I know some like, yes, I really hate that I missed that palette. Or yes, I'm so glad that I got it. But I think it's the Douce palette. The Douce palette. But either way, that is what she looks like. It is so pretty to me. Like, it's gorgeous. For one, that chocolate brown sets it off for me, okay? But it's the mint green that I love the most in this palette, and it shows up so beautifully on my brown skin. Then this is the Festival palette. This is one that I was like, I'm gonna get it just because I want it in my collection. But not one of my favorites, because she's not the most intriguing color story to me, okay? This is another one that I got just to have in my collection, really. I wasn't drawn to it because of the color story or anything like that. But this is the Zulu palette. Now this palette stands alone. This one is my favorite. I think this is number one. I think this is number one for me. If I said something else was number one, the Nubian or something, I was wrong. I have corrected myself. The Warrior palette is my absolute favorite. This palette was bae. Still is. I will reach for this one more so than any other Juvia's Place palette. Like, I love this palette. Then she gave us another treat with the Warrior 2. This one is all matte, but I absolutely love this one as well. This is the Saharan 2 palette. Really pretty color story here. And then here is the first Saharan palette. That is what the Saharan palette looks like. So this is the that palette. Okay, I use this one for one of the most detailed looks that I've ever done. And then, like I mentioned earlier, I do have both the Saharan 1 and 2 blush palettes, and I use them interchangeably. So that's why I kept them in the palette video. I know they're blush palettes, more so blush and highlight. And they are beautiful blushes and highlight shades. The shade ABY, whatever, ABY, this one, I can use for contour. It's a very rich, deep contour. And then the Saharan Blush Volume 2. Don't really reach for this one as much as I would reach for Volume 1, just simply because of how light the shades are. But as far as like an eyeshadow look, 100%. So this is the Wahala palette. This palette almost broke the internet, if I am not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. I remember everybody and their mama wanted this palette. I know I did. And I still have not used it, not once. I wanted this palette so bad because I was just like, you know what? This palette is going to put me on the map. I'm going to do all types of looks with it. Girl, I haven't touched this palette, but it is so pretty to me. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the color story. I think it might just be the fact that the packaging is black. I don't know what it is, but either way, when I was able to get this palette, like, I literally screamed. Then she came, followed up with the Wahala 2 palette, and no, I haven't used, there's the paper, haven't used this one either, or the plastic anyway. Beautiful color story here. This one's more giving like water vibes, more so water and a little bit of land, maybe. I don't really know, like a sunset, maybe beach, I don't know. And then my final palette for this video, I was able to grab the Culture palette. I believe this might be, is this the biggest palette that she's ever released? I think this is the biggest one, but the way that they're panned in here, I'm mildly OCD, and the way that they're in here by color by color themes, just really set it off for me. I know that's weird to some people, but I really thought that this was well packaged. Well, guys, that is it. That's all. Those are all of my Black owned makeup brand eyeshadow palettes. There we go. That's all that I have. I didn't count them, but I had 40 Juvia's Place on its own. So yeah, it was a lot. I love me some eyeshadow, okay? And especially if it's a nude or neutral palette, baby, don't judge me, okay? But anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out what I have in my collection. I hope that I was able to show you guys some palettes that you were like, I wonder, or I hope that I showed you something new and you were willing to go and check that out, maybe pick you up a palette or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But yeah, I appreciate the request again. Thank you so much, love. And until next time, y'all, keep it crazy, keep it cool.